Hello folks, it's Dave here, and today I want to talk to you about the pickups that I have got for the month of June. And the first one I had a birthday at the start of the month. I got a few for my birthday. The first one is Legacy Evo Nemesis Leo Prime. He is a really nice bot, repaint of the original Leo Prime, but I think he works better like this. Don't know if this is really coming across on the camera, but he's just got lots of different shades of black and grey and little silver highlights here and there, and little teal highlights, and the teal looks great on the claws. Yeah, he's just a really nice bot. He cleans up really nicely as well. He does have the beast mode kibble hanging off him, but he's supposed to have that. That's known to be part of his design. And he's got lots of articulation, and although some of this kibble does get in the way of that articulation, it also moves around a lot in and of itself. So like these bits can fold forward on the arm, these bits can go back over the shoulder, and so because of that, being able to move those around a lot, it means you can pretty much get him into any pose you want. He balances well. He's got little heels that fold out from under his feet, so they fold away when he's in his beast mode and come out here, so that gives him nice stability. He can get into some really nice poses, and the transformation on this guy is pretty involved, but it feels really intuitive. It feels really smooth. Everything comes together nicely. There's nothing worrying or difficult about it, and it's just fun to do. I would definitely recommend him. And in his alt mode, he's a really lovely looking black lion and cleans up really nicely. I think perhaps of all of the beast transformers we've had recently since Kingdom, he might be the one that cleans up the best in both modes. So yeah, he's a definite recommend from me. He is excellent, and I picked him up mainly to go with these two from the Creatures Collide pack that I got from my mate Gav in January, and he sort of started me on the journey now of getting more of the bad beasts. I already got the Maximals from Kingdom. I wasn't really bothered about getting the Predacons at that stage. I didn't like and still don't like the dinosaur mode Predacons. This was the one I particularly liked the look of when I saw it from the box set, and Gav was willing to split his box. He wasn't bothered about having this, so he sent me both of these, and they are really good fun toys. So I wanted something else to display with them, and that's why I picked up this guy. And yeah, he's really good. And then to go with him also for my birthday, to go with that part of my display, I also got this Shadow Panther second hand. He's an older toy, and I will say he is not as impressive as Nemesis Leo Prime, but he's still a nice bot. He has the issues that you get with the Kingdom Cheetor mold. There is a tab in the back of the head here that has snapped off, that was already snapped off when I got it second hand, but it doesn't affect how he displays in either mode. It was just a small tab, and it's common breakage. I don't mind that at all. And the thing with him is in his alt mode, his feet fold up inside his legs and they stick out a little bit out of the back of the Panther legs, so that's a little bit unsightly. His feet are really small, so depending how you pose him, he can be a bit fally overy. I'm not a huge fan of the mutant head sculpt. It's okay, but overall I like the way he looks, the blacks and the yellows and the silver highlights. He does clean up quite nicely again in this mode, and he's definitely more of a companion piece for my Nemesis Leo Prime, and he works really well in that regard. I do like him a lot. And the next thing I got, the last of my birthday presents, just a little one, this is Titan's Return Ramhorn, and I wanted him just so he could go with my blaster and eject and rewind over there. And he's quite nice. He has basically no meaningful articulation. The bits that move on him in this mode are really just because they move through his transformation. But he looks okay. He's got some nice little sculpt work, and a little gold, bit of gold paint on there is nice. A little bit on his eye. And I think he's a nice little robotic rhino. The tail doesn't look great because it's just a cannon, because his alt mode is a weird looking tank mode. If you want to see a picture of that, that is on my Instagram. I'll put the link in the description as always. And I have got some photos up of the other things in this video. But apart from the tail, I think he's a nice looking little rhino. And yeah, so that's him. I'm pleased to have him. And again, he's more of a companion piece, and he'll definitely do until Hasbro get around to giving us a tape mode version of Ramhorn and Steeljaw. Right, and the next things, I went to see the new movie, the Transformers movie, Rise of the Beasts. I don't know if you've heard of it. It was enjoyable, actually, a good movie. Went to see it with my wife, and we both enjoyed it, had a lot of fun. Yeah, it's not earth-shattering cinema, it's not a masterpiece, but it's a fun action movie, and probably one of the better movies in the live-action Transformers series. I would say Rise of the Beast and Bumblebee are there or thereabouts, with the rest underneath. And Age of Extinction and Last Night bringing up the rear. So on the day of release, I went to see it, and I also popped into the Entertainer and decided to pick up this little Optimus Primal Beast Battlemaster. He turns into a gun. I'm not bothered about the gun mode really, but this is quite a nice little representation of him. It's only £4, so I thought I'd have it. And yeah, again, not much in terms of articulation. You can move his arms and his legs at the back there, and his head does swivel and tilt up very slightly. And he's got some silver highlights on his arm, some nice sculpt work on the chest, and a nice little head sculpt. So for £4, that's a pretty good little representation of this character from the movie. And then a few days after that, I went and got Rhinox as well, because why not? So I think I'll probably end up getting Cheetor and Air Razor as well at some point, so I can round out the 4 and just have the 4 little Maximals from Rise of the Beasts, and they can sit on my mantelpiece downstairs in the living room. Just a bit of fun. Rhinox looks quite nice too. He's got a few silver highlights down the side of him, on his head, on his horn. He's got little grey legs. And yeah, his legs fold inwards because of the way he transforms, but he's basically got no articulation really. And again, not fussed about the gun modes on these, but just some nice little beast to have sitting around in the living room, why not? And I'll show these two together, bit of a rhino month, there we go. And then the last thing I got this month, this was a pre-order that came through from Comics and Cocktails, so thank you to them for getting this to me. And I think the ones I got for my birthday came from In Demand Toys, so thank you to them as well. And I know they've had some trouble recently. Someone broke into their premises and stole a load of stuff, so I hope they get that sorted. They're really good guys at In Demand Toys. I've been purchasing from them for a few years now, and yeah, not really had any major problems, and any issues I have had have been dealt with really well. And yeah, they just seem like good people, so I hope that all gets sorted out. And the last one I got then from Comics and Cocktails on pre-order, she came through Axlegrease, and she is fantastic. You know I like my Junkions. Initially I wasn't entirely sure about the idea of a Decepticon Junkion, but just the look of her really won me over, and I wanted to get her. The colours on her look great. And yeah, the design on her, the detailing on the chest there with the silver paint on, the head sculpt's really nice. The changes they've made to this mould, there's actually more remoulding than I thought there would be. Even things like the inside of the wheels are different to how they are on this guy. Scrapbook. So yeah, a lot of change. Looks really good. The alt mode on Axlegrease looks really cool. She actually cleans up a little better because you can see the hands on the rear bed of the truck mode with Scrapbook, but her alt mode has her guns tab into the hands and complete the rear end, and it's more like a hatchback look. So yeah, I think I prefer her alt mode, not just because of the non-visible hands, but overall just the shape of it and the colours. Yeah, and I think I prefer her overall to Scrapbook a little bit, although I do really like him too. I think just his colours are a little bit flatter. There's not so much definition in his head sculpt, things like that. Just minor nitpicks really. He's still very good, but looking at her, she's got, I think the guns are really nice, and the engine blocks look really cool. Those do come out of there and they can be used as guns too if you want, but I like to leave them in the legs. And she does have the gimmick, of course, where you can pull parts off, so you can do a basic arm swap with Scrapbook if you want. And of course you can manipulate these and create combined forms with them and all sorts of things. I know not everyone's into that. If you're not into that, it doesn't really matter. You're still getting a great transformer with her. She will go from one mode to the other without having to use that gimmick. And she's a nice looking robot. She's a nice looking vehicle. Really fantastic. So I am so pleased to have her. And yeah, she cleans up really nicely. She has got these big bits sticking out on the heels, of course, but that just means she has really good balance and you can get her in some nice poses. The only thing I think I would like is if there was a bit more on the head articulation wise. She just turns side to side. If she could go up and down and tilt the head, that'd be really cool. You can do that with Crash Bar, and I do like to get that little bit of extra articulation in the head when we can. I do appreciate it. But other than that, she's got all the waist swivelly action and all the arm articulation and leg articulation really that you need. And just a great look overall. So really, really, really delighted with her and would absolutely recommend her to anyone. So that's my pickups for this month, guys. Thank you for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think of these pickups, and let me know if you've picked up anything recently that you've enjoyed and would recommend to me to maybe have a look at. So yeah, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon, guys. Take care.